orientation to new software and hardware, academic support needs at training sites. And so those are some of the challenges that we face within our own institution. Thank you.
Thank you, Herman. Ernie, would you like to respond?
It's back on again. Even with Philip's question in writing before me, it's still too difficult to tackle. Creating learning environments that promote active learning, critical thinking, collaborative learning, knowledge creation. At the University of Saskatchewan, in our second integrated plan, we made as one of our top 3 priorities, and listed it first, at least symbolically, I think, to indicate that this is really our top priority, and that is to improve the student experience. And in the plan, we talk a lot about what that means, and it means thinking about these kinds of things. I think that it's really important for an institution to establish its priorities, and our institution has established a priority that we need to, for this next 3 years now, continue to focus on the student experience. Think about learners as individuals, think about their own career goals, their own educational goals. We know that talking about improving the experience for students also means improving the experience for those in the institution elsewhere who work with them. It includes improving the experience for our instructors, for our staff that work with them, for our partners out there in the community. Having a plan means that even in these tight budget times, we are determined to fund and to protect funding for our priorities. And so I know for sure that this priority will sustain us through this planning period, and even in the era of budget cuts, we will continue to invest in those things that will actually improve the student experience. There's a whole lot in that. Within our plan, we've identified a number of commitments around the student experience. One of them, for example, is around a diverse body of students. And that can be seen very much from a kind of an institutional self-serving position, and it has some element of that, I am sure, that we need students. But it's also very deeply rooted, I think, in this question about creating learning environments, creating the right learning environment for our students. It's clear that in an institution like ours, we need to have a more diverse body of students. We need to reach out to Aboriginal communities, to Canadian and out-of-province and international communities to, in fact, enrich the learning environment for all of our students, to take advantage of then understandings about the different ways that people have of knowing about learning. And so we will do that. So maybe I'll just say one more thing, and that is that one of the things that I've really come to learn about this is that, in my position as a university leader, is that I need to believe in the power of the people that are in our institution. And so one of our commitments during this planning period is to think about innovation, in learning and innovation in programs, and to really understand what we can do to mobilize that innovation that's there already in everybody. There's no reason that I would need to know everything about learning environments and what promotes learning, etc. What I need to do is make sure that we can reach out into that creativity, into that knowledge, into that enthusiasm and desire of all of those people at the University of Saskatchewan. And we need to understand better as an institution what we do that either encourages the expression of that innovation or, in fact, that turns it off and deadens it.
Thanks, Ernie. And Gary, would you like to respond?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me in the back now? Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'd like to think out loud about 3 of the questions that Philip posed. The first one is 21st century literacy. The second one is a learning environment. And the third one is today's learners. I think what fascinates me and what really appeals to my mischievous side is that the literacy in terms of the 21st century technologies is not confined to a university education. what really appeals to me is that a lot of the literacy is a type of outlaw knowledge or a type of nomadic knowledge that has nothing to do with the academy, and it reminds the academy that we have learning to do ourselves. The example, and the reason I asked Philip to mention my infamous son at Google is that although he's a security engineer, he has a BA in philosophy. It's a 3-year degree from New Zealand. Has nothing to do with computers, has nothing to do with software, has nothing to do with technology. He wrote his honors paper on Wittgenstein. But Morgan was a hacker. And when he was 15, men in suits appeared at the front door. And he and his friend had managed to find themselves inside an army system in Okinawa of a foreign country to our south. And this was in New Zealand many, many years ago, approximately about 15 years ago. And we had a very good lawyer at the time and very understanding people.